Anybody that you need out send it, and yeah, you can get rid of that.
I kind of wrecked my hands setting myself because I wanted that house.
We might recruit her.
And I must have frostbite on my hands. And so ever since my thumbs, if I get cold,
I haven't got it, so I didn't
if I try to get crazy, I'm very
I'll get it printed out.
I can't do anything.
2 weeks.
Okay.
A meeting in,
Hi. It being 6 o'clock, I would like to call to order the August meeting of the Master Plan Steering Committee.
Thanks, Mark. So a quick question, can we switch around the agenda so that Michelle and Liz can go first so that they can leave after, because they're coming over the notches.
That works, yes.
Okay, awesome. So number 6 will be number 1, if that's okay. Technically, do we have to approve the minutes or take community comment before doing that?
We can do the minutes last,
Okay.
so that's no problem.
All right. Okay, so we have Michelle Morin Gray and Liz coming up to present to us. And if you don't have the proposal that they had given to us, you can look up on the screen back there. I know it's a little awkward because we're yeah. Come on up.
Figure out where my back is, not to everybody.
Center's over there, and I'll move my stuff. And then I'll pull that up over on the screen.
Thank you. All right, so my name is Michelle Morin Gray. I'm from North Country Council. I am the executive director of the council. And with me tonight is Liz Emerson. She is our senior planner at the council. Just a quick who we are. So we are the Regional Planning Commission for the northern third of the state. We have 50 communities and 25 unincorporated places. So we cover basically all the way from here to all the way north to Coos County. In addition to being a regional planning commission, we are also an economic development district designated by the U.S. Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration. What that technically means is we manage the economic strategy for the region, which then affords certain economic development funding to come into our region. So, for example, a lot of times you'll use EDA money, Economic Development Administration money, for water and sewer. They like jobs in infrastructure, and so we maintain the SEDS. It's a 5-year plan, and when communities or nonprofits apply for that type of funding, 1, it's great to say, yes, we're aligned with the SEDS. 2, it's even better to say we've met with the SEDS committee and we are on the project list. So that's kind of how that falls into that bucket of EDA. We do everything from master plans like we are here this evening to grant administration and grant writing. We assist with regulations. We do traffic counts. In fact, you guys have tubes on your roads. Technically our tubes. We're doing traffic counts for DOT. So we're contracted with DOT to do 3-year cycles of traffic counts. And so every 3 years you'll see those tubes up on your roads. That's counting numbers for New Hampshire DOT, and it gives you the average daily traffic count. You can actually go right on the website and see what that is. So it's great if you've got a project happening in your community, or you're looking at what's happening to this road, things like that. It tells you what you're seeing for traffic on there, so if you don't use that tool, it's a great tool to use. In addition to that, in our transportation bucket, some of the things that we do are road surface management. So we can go out and assess your roads. We've done watershed-wide culvert assessments. So we've done the Saco, we worked in partnership on all of these. We've done the Amanuset, the Androscoggin, the Baker, and the Saco River. And that's really looking at culvert, stream crossing infrastructure, because that's a big topic about undersized culverts and how do we use a protocol that's a statewide basis. We work in conjunction with DES and DOT, and then other partners like Fish and Game, Trout Unlimited, for that respect, and municipalities. So we do a lot of stuff. If you ever have a question, like did they do that, do they know the answer, just call us, because if we don't know the answer, we can connect you to somebody that can maybe get the answer for you. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we do. I don't think I missed anything too big.
No.
And we'll get to why we're here tonight. So we got a phone call from the folks of the planning board to reach out and talk to us about, updating master plans. What does that look like? Community engagement, and you guys have already done. You're in the process of doing stuff. You've collected some data. You're working on a survey. You've got a big crew. I mean, a lot of times we come to some of these and it can be crickets in the beginning. So
They're like, master plan, what?
yeah, so you should be excited about what's happening, because it's great to see this many people in a room, and some enthusiasm to do this. I think you've laid the groundwork really well for, why do we need a master plan? Why should we do it? And one of the biggest reasons is, what do you want your future to look like, right? What are the people that you're here, that live here and walk the streets and breathe the air of Madison, want the future to look like in your community? But also those things other things that we do, grant writing, grant administration, and EDA. When you're looking at those buckets of money, you want to be able to say to the funder, hey, that funding in the project we want to do aligns with our master plan, and you will be more competitive. And that world is getting more competitive in this federal climate. So we kind of had a conversation about, what should we give you a proposal for? How should we do it? I said, you know what, let's just give you what it would look like if you said to us, we want you to update our master plan. And so what you have in front of you, and then also up here on the screen, is really what that proposal would look like. And this is not set in stone by any means. And so we can change the scope, change the phases, work around different things. But we broke it down into tasks, and those tasks can easily be removed. Meaning, if you say to us, you know what, we don't need you to do our survey, we've already got it under control. And if we take a look at it and say, yeah, I think your survey is robust enough that we can use the data from that and have some good information that goes into it, then we can take that piece out of it. And that's the same with every other piece of the proposal that we put together. Typically, we like to start, when we're doing a full master plan update, we like to start with a kickoff. So exactly this, you get a proposal, we agree on the scope, and then we do a kickoff. If there's any additional tweaks, we tweak it then. And the kickoff is really to understand the landscape. Who are the stakeholders? Who's not in the room that should be in the room? Where might be some challenges, or where are the opportunities? Are there any big events coming up that we should pay attention to? And just kind of getting all on the same page, having a shared understanding of what's gonna happen.
That's what I was saying tonight. I was like, oh man, I wish we had this like a month ago, and then we could have done a pop-up at the car show. Yeah.
A lot of times we'll piggyback, when we do the community engagement for these events, we piggyback onto other events that are happening. We just did one last night down at National Night Out in Thornton. The town of Campton is updating their master plan. We was at that event to seek feedback from the Campton residents. So we'll piggyback on top of things. The other thing that we do too with the community engagement piece is we try to engage the community in many different ways, right? We know that not everybody's gonna show up at a visioning session or an open house and really feel free to speak their mind. So we provide opportunity to do Post-it notes, feedback, one-on-one conversations, key informant interviews with businesses and residents. So we really incorporate all of that into the work that we do. And then we kind of start from there. We pick away at updating the elements of your master plan. And before we kind of even get to that point, we look at currently what you have for elements. We base the proposal on what you have and some recommendations of maybe combining some, and then also some recommendations of maybe thinking about adding an implementation element, and things such as that. And so all of that really is pieces that, you know, once we hit the kickoff meeting, in that meeting, if the group says, you know, we don't want to combine historic resources and cultural resources, we want to keep them separate. Or we don't want to combine outdoor recreation, I'm making things up at this point, outdoor recreation with natural environment, then okay, then we leave it the way it is. Or we change it to that to meet that want.
It is driven by the community, so however the community wants it, that's what we're going to produce.
Typically as we go through each piece of it, so the vision is an element, and we'll do a draft vision element, and it's agreed upon. We try not to go backwards once we've gotten there. So each element is approved as we go through, and that makes the task of approving the entire master plan a lot easier. So we approve 1 to 2 elements, maybe more depending on how big they are at a time. There's usually 1 round of revisions. You put it all together at the end, you get an opportunity to look at it, it goes out for public comment and viewing. And once again, the master plan committee and planning board get an opportunity to do a round of revisions, and that's where it kind of stands. In the end, we leave you with a PDF. We leave you with the Word. We don't take that with us. We leave you with the Word document, so that in the future, if you want to update it and edit it yourself, you're free to do that. And then in addition, of course, the maps that is determined that you want to go into it. I think I hit really what's in this proposal, right? We did it in 2 phases because we know that there's some money budgeted for this fiscal year. And so in order to do a complete update, there would potentially need to be funding budgeted for the next phase of it. So we did it in 2 phases. And we did the price estimate for 2 phases. The one thing is I will say that your community is not a member of the council, so being a member does afford you a discount on the labor that it takes to do this. It also affords you, if we have any funding in-house that we can leverage, right? Sometimes we have an economic development chapter that we can leverage some of our EDA money. I'll tell you right now, we don't have EDA money because it's held up in the federal train. But as we have some buckets of funding that we know we can use for different areas, we try to leverage as much as we can. It's not always that big, but every little bit counts. And so we try to do the best we can do with that. We price all of our proposals out with in-person meetings, so there's never really a question, is it online, is it in person? Sometimes some communities we do strictly all online, it works well, but it's up to each community, so we just price them out, so we just do this so it's in person. And
You get that one-on-one, that's key to get that one-on-one feedback, body language, comments, everything, so you don't miss anything, so. I know when I'm working with a municipality, in person is definitely the way to go. That's how you get the most feedback.
Questions?
Yes, what does it cost to join the council?
It's I was gonna say it's 4,212?
242, 4,242.
$4,046?
$2,242.
We have been, so since, I'll just tell you the history of dues. When COVID hit, we reduced our dues. So we reduced them by, I think 10 or 15%, I can't really remember. We held them there through the COVID years, and we've been holding them where they are, kind of since that point. They do fluctuate, and it has to do with the valuation of property. In the dues letter, in December, we send out the dues letter to every community, whether you've been a member or not. We send it out, and it gives you the entire formula. It's based on valuation, population, all that fun and exciting stuff, and I can send it to you to show you how we get that if you don't happen to have it from.
What is the range of the dues per year?
The dues go from 500 for a community like, I think
Hearts location.
Hearts location or Benton, 60 people, to, I think we cap it at 8,500 for communities such as Conway and Berlin, the city of Berlin. They're our biggest communities.
Is the $2,200 figure for half a year for this year, and then the annual for us would be somewhere in the $4,400 range, or is that $2,200 both years
So
and there's no proration?
So the 4,242 is for the full year.
Gotcha.
If you said, yeah, we want to become dues paying members, I mean, we're halfway through the year, I can take it back to my finance department and look at the proration.
Yes.
But, yeah, we can come up with something,
Right.
because it is, yeah.
Gotcha, thank you.
And have you looked at coming up with the cost? What would be a total cost to update the master plan?
I think the total cost to update is, let's see, we're off the sheet. So phase one, for the non-member rate, it's $24,212. And then for phase two, phase two is $30,441. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay. Are we able to look through this and choose the things that we believe we have the skill sets in this group to handle more readily, and partner with you on the other things that we might look around the room and say, we don't have that skill set here, or we need Madison's trust, so we're not the right people to ask those questions?
Absolutely, and that's kind of why we did this proposal this way, is because we had that discussion that potentially there's a lot that you might be able to handle as a group and be successful with, but there might be some things that you need some additional expertise in. And so instead of kind of trying to figure out what that might be, we put it all in, and then we bucket it out per task. So essentially, we could either pull a task completely out of the proposal, or you could say, you know what, we need a little bit of help, but not that much help. And we can just rewrite the task. It's not, it's all fluid.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if you guys wanna read through it, digest it, and then email us questions at any point in time, feel free to. Give us a call.
I feel like you answered all of my questions. Going through it, and I felt like it really aligned with what we have already started. So I was pretty excited about that, and I feel like it wouldn't be so much as us completely taking part of the project apart unless we have to for financial reasons, because it seems like what we've started complements what you would be asking our group for anyway, because you kind of break it down into what the board is responsible for, the committee is responsible for, and
Yep.
what you're responsible for. And it just kind of seems like we'd just be in a really good position to add to it and be able to give you what we need to deliver.
Mhm.
So I just feel like we're kind of at that point. We've been working on it for a few months, and we have a pretty solid group of people here from,
No, it's,
Which
you've
is
got a
awesome.
good group,
Yeah.
you do,
Yeah.
I mean, it's exciting to see this many people engaged.
Yep. Yeah,
There's people missing.
yeah, there's people missing tonight too, just a
So
couple.
long wait.
that's awesome.
Busy.
That is
It
awesome, though.
The signs told me.
Yeah, and then, later on tonight, we will kind of go over how we've been reaching out to our respective boards. I was kind of chatting with you about that. And how we're trying to get feedback from the groups already. And we have a short survey out, or I think it's short enough. So as people can just give us how they'd like to communicate with us moving forward. So that might just be a starter, but I feel like since you also break it down into multiple elements and deliver that back to the community, that having another survey or adding to it wouldn't be so much of a problem.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would say, go through it and identify those areas that you feel you have under control, and then we can go back to the drawing board, rescope, and take it from there.
Okay, that's good to know that it's
Yep,
fluid and
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
worth it.
Other questions?
Any other questions, Tia? I mean, you know how far into this whole process you've gotten, which seems to be a great start.
Mhm.
And, I think some professional help would be great,
Yeah.
but,
Same, and it kind of takes us out of, like Evelyn was saying at the previous meetings, just like takes us out of the mix a little bit, so we're a little more removed from it, and so it's not like, all right, well, cool, you read this data, you also live here, so it might
Yes.
be nice to have unbiased opinions and,
Absolutely.
Yes. I'm
Transparent.
working with Campton, and that was one of their pros. It was like, oh, we can just step back and you guys can take the lead. Because it removes us, Campton residents, from saying, oh, this is bent this way because you lived in Campton. So it takes that out completely, which is always a safety net.
yeah, and it's great to have so many representatives from around town, but
Yes.
it's not like we included every single person, every single group. And we're doing our best to reach out to every group that we can.
Yep.
But we have so many more people that we'd like to hear from.
And that's where your community engagement piece will come into play, and that's where your survey comes into play, but even beyond your survey, that's where your physical attendance at events like that's out on the front lawn, and asking the questions one-on-one, or asking them to provide the answer last night, it was last night. We did sticky notes, what town are you
Yeah.
from, and, what's your thought about this particular topic?
Mhm.
We've done that, we've done bean counting where it's, here's your 5 beans and here's the jars, and they're labeled with what we heard in the survey. So we kinda wanna confirm that, vote, so we do things like that. And also just to increase the awareness of, what is the master plan about and why are we doing it? Some people might jump on board right away, like, I wanna be a part of this. The next time it happens, hopefully they remember and they jump on board and say, yeah, I remember that process, I wanna be a part of it this time. So there's lots of different ways that when we get to that community, we can engage your community, and every community is different. So it really depends, and it depends on the time of year too. So, sometimes people are too busy. And so we just have to wait until people are ready to answer and respond. And that's okay.
so what is our next step here? Would it be as a board to review the proposal?
I would say that, as a board, review the proposal, mark it up on areas that you say, no, we just don't need to do that, like, we've got that. Or, you know, can we change that, we've got some of this, but not all of it, can we change it? And then send it back to us, and we'll kind of go back to the drawing board and come up with a new proposal or version 2. And I would do that all the way through phase 2, right? Do phase 1 and phase 2, so we do it all in one set. And that way, we can go back to the drawing board on both phases. It doesn't mean that you have to go into phase 2. In fact, we did a phase 1. We've done a couple of phase 1 and phase 2s for communities that, I mean, we understand these are expensive, right? They're not cheap, by no means. And so we've done a couple of communities recently, actually, I think three of them that we've done in phases where, okay, we're gonna get through a land use chapter and a vision and data. And that makes it legal, right? That's a legally updated master plan. And then the next phase, we go into all the elements. We did do one where we just updated the data. It was something we've never done before. I don't know if we would do it again, because we still really had to spend a lot of time interpreting that data for the community. And so, it worked. It was a little clunky, but it worked. So there's definitely different ways we can do this. But I would say, when we look at phase 1, look at phase 2, typically what we would do is if you guys say, yes, that's the proposal we want, we always write it, phase 1 is secured, and that's our contract. And then, so it doesn't have to kind of go back around, and we can move right into phase 2 when the funding's available. We always say contingent upon phase 2 funding. So if phase 2 funding doesn't come, we don't move forward. Or if it comes 6 months late, we can move 6 months late.
Have you worked with any communities yet that have done a watershed management plan?
I mean, with natural resources, we always take into consideration the watersheds. Specifically a plan just for watershed, no, but it is tied into the natural resources. Me personally, I don't know if anybody
We haven't,
at the
yeah,
commission has.
we have not done any watershed specific plans. We've done, like I said, watershed assessments on culverts.
I wasn't necessarily saying doing a plan, I just wondered if you'd worked with a community that had the plan so that you incorporate their plan into the master plan. And my reason for asking this is, our selectmen have just signed a contract with an engineering firm, and we're having a watershed management plan done for this area.
Perfect.
We're actually into it now. They're working on it. It'll be about an 18-month project to get it done. And we are having a public meeting with the engineering firm on Monday, August 25th, at the Chick Room in the library. And that is open to the public for anybody that wants to come and hear what they have to say and what's going on with this plan.
So I think it would be as long as the plan was, even if it was in the process, we could reference that it's in the process so that, maybe that chapter or that section or wherever it's gonna come into play can be updated after, say your final update is done and then the watershed plan's not done, but it's happening, right? You can then go back and update it, we can reference it, that it's, in the process. But it would be no different than any other plan that you've created, your hazard mitigation plan, if you have a wildfire plan, any of those other plans that you might have in place, we would always look at those plans and reference them as we're updating your master plan. So we try to pull them all together. That's kind of the nice thing about using a regional planning commission is we're kind of, typically we're aware of these other plans that kind of trickle down into this, and it's important to recognize them in your master plan.
And have those plans in the plan, or just have references?
References, mainly references, because sometimes a watershed plan, it
Could be,
could be 200 pages long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't put the plan in the master plan, but we would definitely reference it. And more often than not, we say if you would like a copy of it, come to the town office, because websites change, things like that, so.
And can be added 2 years down the road?
Yep, so you guys will also have the Word document for the master plan. So if you guys wanted to change it 2 years down the road, you can either contact us and we can draw it in, or you guys can put it in.
So it's not something we're gonna mail to every household like the olden days?
The master plan?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Interesting thought. Might be a little expensive, but.
Okay, any more board questions, or we aren't public, Tia?
Have you ever run into certain groups kind of not being cohesive because it's such a huge project?
I mean, I think that's part of the process, right? We don't all think the same. But, you know, typically you come to some type of middle ground. And as long as your community input is strong, right, as long as it's robust, you know, you're basing your update and what you're saying and your vision and what you wanna see in the future and what you wanna see implemented based on that community input. So, you know, is everybody going to completely be on the same page at all at the same time? Absolutely not, and that wouldn't be community if it was. But we've never seen a point where it's like, you know, we're at a dead standstill, we can't move forward. And that comes from doing engagement, doing community engagement, right? Listening to what your residents are saying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what we think, we put our heads together and read this, and
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think it's help we need, so.
Yeah, just keep in touch.
Yeah, just let us know.
Yeah.
And we can do this as members, or if we say we don't want to be
Either
members,
or.
that's cool too.
I'll put my thinking cap on and see what that looks like.
So,
For proration?
Yes.
We'll go back to our finance department.
Yes.
we're kind of your southern relatives down here, so.
You know, it's interesting, I mean, I can't say that I drive through Madison for anything significant, right? Like,
Right.
my travel is up and down the 93, 302, 16 corridor. But I've been on the train, right, when it was running. I thought that was the coolest thing in the planet. I've been to the Boulder for almost a decade. I put the tubes on your roads. So I find your community very fascinating. Like, you've got a great community. It's and there's like, you know, seems to be some hidden gems in it that you don't necessarily know about. So, yeah, you were in the southern part, but you are similar to our northern communities. There's a lot of cross-cutting aspects, I'm sure.
And most of my time is down in this area. I live the furthest north, and I definitely spend a good portion of my time in southern New Hampshire. I came from Charlestown, New Hampshire, so I'm very familiar with even further south.
Yeah. But there's, I mean, I think I think of the community as still, even though you're at the southern point of our region, you're still very similar to what we see in a lot of our other communities that are this size and this type of, you know, cross between rural and tourism, right? That life.
In growing pains in the North country, or is it slowing down?
I mean, I think the growing pains are, you know, during COVID, there was definitely growing pains. It was like, what's going on? I think it's slowed, it's definitely slowed. And I think part of it has to do with, and this is me, this is not North Country Council, it is me. Part of it, I think, has to do with people are getting back to normal lifestyles, meaning, yes, they can still be remote, but they are being called back into the office. I think some people are missing their lifestyle they had, right? You know, it takes a little while some days to get to the grocery store. up north, housing is a big issue. It's a big issue everywhere. I'm not gonna get into it. But that's, getting into housing is definitely, it's a challenge up there. We're seeing some interesting things happen in the market right now. I think your community might be seeing it, I don't know. But we're seeing houses come up for sale. So there seems to be more housing on the market right now. Doesn't mean that we can afford it, it just means it's happening. And I've seen this across several communities, in the area that I travel in, including my hometown of Holderness, where, there's houses that have been historically owned by families. These generations are now for sale. So kind of, we're scratching our head a little bit about what is happening. So maybe not so much growing pains. We're still seeing a huge influx of visitors. So we still have that tourism piece, outdoor recreation piece that peaked in COVID has not really significantly dropped. So we still see the
Driving through the notch.
drive through, you drive through Crawford, Saco Lake from past the AMC Highland Center. They're just lined up both sides of the road. So that's what we used to see in Franconia Notch. Now we see it there, we see it on Appalachia. In the winter, we see it on the Kank, on the Lincoln side. So we're not really seeing that type of pressure being relieved, but.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Thanks.
letting us go a little bit ahead of time, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
My kids are starting to wonder who I am.
Thank you.
You as well.
Nice to meet you. I'm just gonna grab my.
Thanks. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Have a good night, guys.
So Tia, what do you think? Where do we go right here, right now?
All right, well, we still have a few more minutes for our meeting. Let's see. I really just want to talk about that, but we have other things we have to do, so let's see. So the planning board, who's all here, they said that they gave us the yes to hear from North Country Council, obviously. I wanted to ask Chief Brooks about your oath, Asia. Did you get to do that, or not yet? Not yet. Okay,
sorry.
that's okay. It's all right. I'm noting it. I think you could just stop it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually told me to do that.
All right, will do. Okay, also, unfortunately, Mark Fonts, who's been with us, he gave his resignation because he has other commitments that have come up.
Excuse me, Tia,
with work. Yeah,
would you mind coming up and sitting up here
oh, sure.
in the middle so we can hear you better?
Yeah, I'll do it. That's okay. I'll go back to that in a minute.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, Paul.
You all right?
All right, so, where was I? Oh yeah, so is there anything specific that we have to do with the selectmen to let them know, or is that just,
I
is it
think that's
okay
just
where-
normal.
It's okay?
Yeah.
All right, I'm bummed, because I had some work for him to do, but that's okay.
And- And who was,
Mark Font's the other Mark.
oh, the other Mark. Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, your friend Mark. So, but that's okay. I told him that if he wanted to come back and join us, he could, or just come to our meeting. That's fine too.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's housekeeping, except for our minutes. But you said you want to do that last.
We can do that last. Or we
Okay.
can do it now if,
Yeah, do you want to just do it now? So we had June minutes to approve and July. today.
So, speaking to the June minutes, anyone have any corrections, concerns? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
A motion's been made and seconded to accept the June minutes as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Wrong board though, right?
Board, you gotta.
Or can it be the sport? Sorry,
Oh,
guys.
oh,
I'm not
everybody.
booting. I'm not
Permit.
booting you out. This is my this
Oh,
is
your
our-
minutes.
My minutes. We're still in our meeting.
Okay,
Yeah. So we need these guys to say aye. And
Yes,
okay.
I'll second it.
Jim? All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
and then we have the
Appreciate
same
that.
issue with the July.
July. Yep. Does anybody want to make a motion or have any comments beforehand?
I'll make a motion to accept as presented.
And I'll go second.
There you go.
Thank you. Alright, good. Okay, do we have any
Vote on them.
vote? Does anybody wanna vote?
Everybody.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Yes?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Okay, I,
Well, I abstained because I wasn't here. So I
Okay.
should be approving July minutes not being here, so.
okay.
So Tia, you will, just so I can confirm, you'll send me May, June, and July signed, and then I'll give them to the clerk's office.
Okay, thanks, Kate.
Perfect.
You guys keep me on track
That's all
here
right.
for all of the minutes. See, I need Kate.
I need another me.
Yes. Is that gonna happen? Okay, so thank you. All right, so we're gonna do a check-in on delivering the vision prompts and the chapter briefs to our respective boards. I delivered it to the planning board. That went well. Receptive to it and gonna work through it. And then Conservation Commission, were you able to give those out?
Tia,
Oh,
I went to the conservation.
oh, you did it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
And spoke to them, and they kind of updated me that they had worked pretty extensively on updating their section of the master plan, but they were kind of they kind of put it on the back burner for now because their focus has been Chain of Ponds.
Okay.
So more or less, they were gonna use the visioning prompts as kind of some guidance when they reconvene to work on the master plan again.
Okay. Would that be after Chain of Ponds then?
I don't know if I got like the timeline,
think
but
so.
yeah,
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because that would be a big rewrite.
Right.
Yeah. But
Gotta
they had
add that in,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But they had
That's a
done
lot.
like quite a few work sessions on it,
Got a
so,
whole, Ralph really worked hard on it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Got it in good shape.
Okay.
that section's probably all done.
It's chapter
That's
8.
great.
Yeah, so it was a
I
good,
didn't-
yeah.
I had it.
All right, that's great. Thanks, Asia.
Yeah.
Since I have you,
Yeah.
were you able to figure out who else or other groups you would want to reach out to?
I haven't reached out to SLAM, but I did film their annual meeting, and as like Paul Littlefield brought up, it's really kind of perfect timing, because they're doing this watershed management study, and, so I think it's gonna be kind of like, you know, just really good timing that they're working on this updated watershed management plan, and even like, they said, you know, we could kind of like link to it
Yeah.
through the master plan. So it was just, I just noted it when I was filming their meeting. I was like, oh, this is like, goes hand in hand, so.
That's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then no other updates for conservation, but,
Okay.
I do have updates for Mad TV, so.
Okay, let's skip to that then. We can do Mad TV as well. Are they open to
Yeah,
that?
so I had a board meeting with Madison TV and we kind of went through some of the prompts pretty quickly, like we didn't actually have a sit-down working session with it.
Okay.
But there's definitely some short and long-term goals that we have as a department, so, kind of jotted those down in the spaces that you gave. And they did mention the survey, they wanted to be kind of like represented in the survey.
Okay.
But I told them like, this survey seemed really broad.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like big picture, so maybe if there is another survey that comes through that's kind of gets into more of the nitty gritty and more specifics.
Yeah.
Mad TV just, you know, wanted to kind of get an idea of viewership and, you know, what people would like to see us do, and so, it was good, it was receptive and kind of, we have some projects we're working on, we're trying to find an office space and move, and
Oh, I saw that.
so,
And
we're
you're
now
hiring somebody?
hiring, so.
Okay.
If anybody wants to do what I do, it's very interesting, you know, you learn a lot about the town, so, yeah, so some short-term and long-term goals, so,
Great.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I know those are two big sections, so thank you
Yeah.
for taking that on.
Absolutely,
Appreciate
yeah.
it. All right, let's go on to, who's next? Oh, Historical Society, we had a meeting, they let me on their agenda, so that was good. Had a good chat with them. They are busy, oh my goodness, they're doing everything. We had Nancy Martin, painting, they're redoing the entire inside of the Historical Society building right now, it looks awesome. But yeah, so they were receptive to taking the visioning prompts, and they thought it was kind of funny that, you know, they're focused on history and I'm asking them to look at the future, and they're like, we don't do that. No, you just gonna, no, they're awesome and they are willing to help, and I know that historical preservation, conservation, all of this, we need the people who are in those groups to be the ones leading it, so I appreciated that. So that's delivered, and then I told them that they could take their time filling it all out and getting it out there, because they have a lot going on. No Chief Brooks, but maybe Kate, do you know if he was able to ask the admin team upstairs about the visioning
Not that I
prompts?
know of.
Not yet,
I was-
okay.
I was not in the room, but I
That's
don't remember him doing that.
Okay, that's all right, I'll check with him too, I just thought maybe.
Yeah, no, I don't know about the fire department either, so.
Yeah, he's on fire department too. And then we've got Madison Elementary School, the school board, and possibly the PTO and rec department, but Heather, you let me know that rec falls under gym, so we might shift that around,
Of course.
if that's all right.
Yep.
So we have this coming Monday at 5 o'clock a work session for the school board. So I gave them copies of the master plan, their portion, and then we'll go through the visioning prompt to start gathering that, so that is, this coming Monday.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Facebook, I think it was, Sherry Stackpole put that on it? Okay, awesome. And then,
And once school starts, then we can do the PTO. There's not gonna be a PTO meeting until school starts, so once school starts, we can get that done too.
okay. All right. Mark Graffam for Edelweiss AM. And I met, is it Nicole? Who's your other commissioner?
Nancy Cole.
Nancy, sorry, Nicole, Nancy Cole. I went up into your like lair up there that you have to buzz into at the Public Works.
The office, yeah.
Yeah, and so I saw her and I gave her one of our QR code flyers and everything, and she was super nice. So how did your session go? Or is it
The
in the
beach?
works? Yeah.
We had 3 or 4 people stop and talk to us about that.
Oh, okay.
The most interesting one was a lady didn't want to tell any opinions of what she wanted the future to look like.
Okay.
She would have rather been at a meeting and listened to people exchange ideas. She wanted to hear other people's ideas before
Oh.
she gave any of hers.
Okay, fair enough.
I thought that was the most interesting one.
Huh.
There were 2 people that talked about preserving, they didn't want to see development on Class 6 roads in Edelweiss. We have a few of
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
And there was a lady that wants people to know that if they have houses in southern New England, they shouldn't expect the zoning ordinances to be the same here as they are in southern Massachusetts, southern New England.
Oh,
That
I
the
see.
protections that they assume are here aren't here. Like if you have an expensive house and there's empty lots across the road from you, someone can actually start building a shed to live in with no utilities.
Oh, I
And
see.
she's upset because she can't sell her house because of this activity.
Ah.
And is hounding me to change the ordinances in housing, which,
All right.
so.
Sounds like a good candidate for this
Yeah.
group.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's all good feedback. So I'm glad that you had people stop by and actually attend the listening session, so that's good too. And I have some stats on how many people have, taken the survey so far, and I can share that in a little bit if we make it on time. But it would be nice to hear from more people from Edelweiss, so if they can fill out the survey, that would be great.
I'll put it on Facebook pages for Edelweiss, and I think you've seen it.
Yeah, thank you.
You have flyers.
Yeah, thank you. And we've had 86 people so far take the survey, so that's good. Yeah. All right. And Cheryl, we know that you delivered to the library trustees. You were the first one to go. And any update on the library admins? Or
It's pretty much the same thing.
Oh, is it the same people? Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I wasn't sure. So, same. Okay. And the library has been super helpful. They have paper copies of the survey. Also, if you need help filling out the survey online and you want to do that, but you don't have computer access, or you need help just figuring that out, you can go to the library and do that. So select board, so we have Jim for the select board and for the DPW.
And the rec department now?
And the rec department, if you need help reaching out to these different groups.
No, but if you wanna send me that
Okay.
email, I'll get it printed
Yes, okay,
for the highway, and drop those off.
yep, I'm noting that.
Okay. Usually Rex at our meetings every Tuesday or every other Tuesday.
Okay,
She's there, so I can get that.
all right, great.
And Sherry Stackpole is part of the school board, and she's the committee chair, so she will have at least gone through it from the school perspective, so she'll at least have a little bit of that experience.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Chief Hayford, I saw him out there doing the car extravaganza out there, yeah, touch a truck and all of that, so he's not here today. But hoping to get responses from the police department. Pastor Drew with the Madison Church and the Madison Food Pantry.
I've gotten some back from our deacons. I gave them till the end of August to get it back to me, so hopefully that'll happen. Hopefully I don't have to light a fire under
All right.
But I also, had the link for the survey put in our newsletter that goes out to all the church members. So hopefully we'll be able to get some more of them, participating in doing this, in the survey. I gave the paperwork for the prompts to Joe Dame as well for the food pantry. I have not gotten, it back from him yet. They've been extremely busy. Our numbers are up for July, like a lot.
Wow.
So, but I will try to touch base with him, here the next week or so to see if he's gotten that and, with the numbers as far as at least July.
Okay, thank you. And that food pantry looks amazing.
It is.
And is it totally complete now?
Oh, yeah. We
Yeah.
just, we're waiting on getting the backup generator, hooked up. They've gotten the permits in, and I think on the, August 13th is when everything's gonna be hooked up. So
Oh, wow.
that's kind of the last piece, so that everything, it does lose power, and it lose all the meat that's in those freezers.
You just.
Yeah.
That would be a bad day.
Yeah.
So, but that, the generator was, donated, the, propane tanks have been donated, by the, oil company. So there was a lot of, community input with getting that together,
Great.
so.
Thank you. All right, so Evelyn with housing.
We worked the fair like crazy maniacs on Saturday. We had a lot of people that stopped to talk to us. It was astonishing how many people really care and wanna participate. So a lot of them filled out stickies, which was great. Encourage everyone to take a minute to look at the ideas. A lot of second homeowners, which we still encouraged them. They are taxpayers, but we did let them know that we do have to cull out who votes here and who doesn't, kind of thing. But it was really good, so anytime we can have face-to-face engagement, I think it's critical. Because it allows us to really hear what people are thinking. A lot of people ask, what's a master plan? Why do you want us to fill out a survey? A lot of people don't even know what this is, that it's, a requirement and that we're doing it, so it was good.
Yeah. And I have a quick slide on that too, but I know we have to start the next meeting.
Yep.
So, all right, well, thank you, Evelyn, and thanks for hanging out with me at the community fair. Yeah, we had like 65 or 67 people about come through our table.
Well, and I didn't count while she wasn't there, so it's.
Okay, yeah. I had like a little
I was
tally.
busy talking, not.
Yeah, so we had some information on housing, Evelyn brought that, we had, the survey, we were trying to encourage people to participate in that, and then just kind of listening to them and their stories and their family histories and whatever else they wanted to talk to us about, so it was really great just to kind of open that door and start those discussions, so that was great, thanks Evelyn.
Tia, can I just ask, because I wasn't at that, so
Yeah.
something like this activity, when we have our welcome back to school ice cream social night, like, would that be, if somebody's willing to man that station, do that, it would be another opportunity, we'd have all these parents and grandparents that come into the building. So if someone's willing to do that, we have a captive audience, that might, okay.
Yes, do you have the date for that? I should know this.
It's the last week of school, the last week of August, it's Wednesday from
Okay.
5 to 6. I don't
5
remember
to
the
6.
exact date, but it's Wednesday.
All right,
That's the 27th.
27th? All right, yeah, that would be great. Should we vote on that so we can sign up and ask the planning board for, if we could do outreach?
Oh,
Do
More
we have to
outreach?
vote on that?
Or,
I don't think you need it.
okay,
I think we have the authority to do it.
okay, we can go, all right, thank you. So, we're missing, what do we have left? So Mad TV, we've got that, we did conservation. So there's also an economic section, and I'm not sure if Paul, with your background, if you would be interested in,
Okay, I'll look at it.
looking at it and working on it. Somebody that we may be able to talk to would be, MWV Economic Council as a
Yeah.
group. Do we have a rep on that, do you know?
And I know it exists, but I don't really know a whole lot about it, but they would be, and I don't know if there are any SCORE people here in town. I know there used to be, Service Corps of Retired, whatever.
Okay.
So, I think there are people in town, if you can ferret them out, so.
Okay. Can you try to meet them?
I can help with that too.
And economics with Evelyn, okay. Especially with your background, Evelyn, too, right?
I don't know about that.
Alright, so we did the listening session with Mark in Idlewise, we did Old Home Week table. Mark Graffam also looked at the initial format and kind of gave some feedback on that. Do you want to share initial thoughts before we end, or?
Yeah, I think at the end of the last meeting, you were asking somebody to help you with planning what the document looks like,
Yeah.
formatting. And I looked at 7 different towns that have completed their master plans recently, choosing 2 of them that were large cities and some in the north, some in the south, small ones, to get a good sampling. And I think you like the font on one of them as a modern font, and I think we need to say that, remember, the goal is that this has to be a PDF-A, which stands for archive. We talked about it for a second months ago,
Yeah, I don't
but I
know.
have to tell you what archive is for. Adobe has been around for a long time, and there's been several versions of Adobe Acrobat where they made the PDFs and made it open license that Word can produce a PDF file. Word can also produce a PDF-A file. The reason they have A for archive is they discovered that after 15 years of people creating PDF files, the modern ones were readable by Adobe Acrobat, but the old ones that were 15 years old, people were having trouble opening them. And this is a problem for government because there's millions and millions of documents in PDF format. So they decided to simplify it. And a PDF-A basically has no bells and whistles. It's the lowest level that they thought was acceptable that could go on for a century. So you can't do things like embed video in a PDF-A, and there's certain fonts you can't use because they're too modern,
Alright,
which is
I didn't know that,
why you
so.
can't have that.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me, like my marketing, I'm like, no, it's
But
gonna be.
hold on.
Alright.
I noticed that other towns have the printable version, which is the A,
Okay,
and then they have the fun version
alright,
for humans.
if we can have the fun, yeah.
So
That's
in
good.
that, you can have all the bells and whistles and embed video if you want to. And it's a matter of getting the graphics that you want, charts, like if you look at the 2002/2010 updated, which was just the Conservation Commission stuff. But there's census information of Madison in there. And I sent an email to the building inspector for statistics on new houses, because that was in the old master plan.
Yeah.
Bills, and I haven't heard back, so if I don't know whether I should prod them again to ask for that stuff. But I thought I'd start collecting things that were in the old one, update versions and pass them around, would help the steering committee as we're going through the process, to see these things before we're at the end and stick them into the plan and no one's ever actually internalized any of that.
Well, thank you for the info on the PDF. Also, I think on is it the MS1, and maybe Chief Brooks can help us with this, but there's a report, and I think that it has the number of builds, and then maybe on NCC or MWB Housing Coalition, they might have some information on building stats or building permit stats for the area. So that might be two places if you're interested in that. You can look.
I don't know if they put that report into the annual report for the town.
I think it might be in there,
I think it is.
but not in depth. I think it's just like a line item.
So we have to find that going back to 2010.
I can try and find it. Oh my goodness, yeah. That's a lot.
Well, we really kinda need to wrap it up.
All right, yeah, so thank you for the updates. Yeah, the other stuff was just kind of fun stuff that I was gonna give you as far as who has answered the survey so far, a few stats on that, and just who we could maybe hear from a little bit more. But I can do that at our next meeting.
Okay. And we'll everybody will read this.
Yes, please read through
You have
that for our
another
next
copy of that?
steps. I do, yeah,
You can, so you got one?
She doesn't have it, I can take you one.
Thank you.
there you go.
One, thank you.
Yeah. And is there anything else before we
Motion to
go?
adjourn.
Oh, the outreach update was just that we had 86 people complete the survey. We put it out on Facebook. Thank you for allowing us to do that and enact our outreach plan. We had Idlewise, we had both of the Madison Facebook pages put it out there, and we had something like 35 likes, and I think 20 comments, and I'll keep updating the stats just to keep tabs on how we're engaging the community and who's seeing it and who's taking the survey, so I think we're good.
Good.
Thank you for attending our whole meeting.
Motion to adjourn?
Yes, we have to do that. I'll make the motion.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you got a second?
Motion's been made and seconded.
Okay.
Cheryl
Thank
seconded. Cheryl.